Yo, what's up guys? My name is Landon, and in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how I scaled my video agency from 0 to over 70K per month and closed over $3.5 million worth of projects and retainers. And all this without having a background in marketing, no film degree, and no expensive equipment. Not only will I show you how I did it, but I'll also show you how we've helped over 100 video agency owners build their dream businesses as well. I'll walk you through specific things that I did to be successful in this business, what I would avoid if I was going back again, and so much more. So whatever you do, make sure to watch this video all the way to the end. But real quick, if you're anything like me, you're probably thinking, that's great, but how do I know this is gonna work for me in my business? So what we've done is we've actually gone into the wins channel on our Slack, taken some screenshots of real clients who are using this stuff in their businesses today. Check this out. Damon was doing things for $500 before. He's now selling videos for $15,000 and said this will change the way that he actually does business forever. Huge win today, landed one of his largest deals ever this morning at 30K. They chose the platinum package, which is something I never would have offered before this course. Jared, 10K website content package and a 14K 2-day shoot package. $24,500 sale. They might want to upgrade to a $34,000 sale. And on top of that, a 23K client and a 30K tomorrow. So these are all independent deals. You've got Eric and Britt. They started off, making 6 to 7K a month, I think is where we kind of met them. And now they're doing multiple $16,000, $19,000 months. They actually sent over the Stripe screenshot for a 16K month. This is one of our guild clients. They came in at $13,762 in Q1 of 2024, guys. After just a few months of working with us, they made $135,533, $27,850 package, $47,000 package. She said this is our first project closed using the Wealthy Creative Calculator. Then you've got Richie, after just a few months, closed out Q1 with 120K in sales. Next up, you've got AJ. Said, praise God, today alone, we've closed over 10K in business. We've officially broke 100K in sales for 2023, and January isn't even finished. This is an incredible one from earlier this year. Still one of my favorite screenshots. Next up, you've got Eli. This guy's an absolute killer. He posted his screenshot passing $1 million in client payments collected. Actually, just talked with him a little bit ago. And when he came into the business, he was doing, I think, around 25K per month, actually just eclipsed the 50K per month mark. So absolutely blowing his goals out of the water, and just so honored to work with him. He is crushing it. This is a picture of he and I from his guild day. Then you've got Sam, crushed an 8K retainer here. On top of that, got another 8K and 16K per month retainer. That is awesome. Matt and Mason, these guys have had an explosive rise. They're a couple of our guild clients, both Eli and Matt and Mason out in Indiana. These guys started off, I think, around like kind of 60, 75K per month is where they were at originally. Now pushing into 115, 120K months, pretty consistent. Growing their team, growing their impact, and just really helping the community of where they're at. It's a very tight-knit community, and they are like a light on a hill, just continuing to grow and be successful. So super proud of these dudes. They're absolutely crushing it. Now that you've seen just a few people we've been able to help in our business, I want to share a little bit more about my story. I started off working a 9-to-5 job and built my video agency on the side, built it up to doing around $7,000 to $10,000 per month in retainers. And it was finally time to take the leap into full-time entrepreneurship. So I quit my job. Within a few weeks, every single retainer that I had worked hard to get evaporated. And I went from 2 full-time incomes from my full-time job and then this nice $7,000 to $10,000 in income, having plenty of extra cash, to not being able to afford my apartment, moving out, and living in what I would later find out is a cockroach-infested apartment. I was at rock bottom, drinking multiple nights of the week, smoking, chewing, you name it. I got so frustrated and disgusted one morning that I decided to make some breakfast before I went to the gym. I had so much just anger and angst built up. I was like, I gotta, just go blow off some steam at the gym, only to find out that roaches had invaded my pantry and were crawling inside of my bread bag. I literally reached my hand in there and I watched them crawl back. I snapped. I grabbed a yellow notepad. I drove to a nearby diner. I was so mad. I remember this moment that I was shaking. And it was in that diner that I realized that I had hit rock bottom in my life. I sat there thinking, dude, you left a reliable, steady job for this? And boom, the guilt, shame, frustration, condemnation, all compounded. And I picked up my pen. And it was at that diner that I began writing my escape plan. I made a plan to get out of this hellhole that I was living in and never go back to this low of a life ever again. From that moment, things started to change. I read every book I could find on sales, marketing, branding, operations. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on coaches, mentors, masterminds, and courses. And step by step, by the grace of God, I was able to build my video agency, Grindstone, to over $70,000 per month with 12 full-time staff and some of the largest clients in our state. And in the next few minutes, I'm gonna show you guys how I went from barely scraping by, unable to afford a $500 per month roach-infested apartment, to literally building the business of my dreams, driving my dream car, strengthening my relationship with God, and eventually marrying the love of my life, Megan. So buckle up, grab a notepad and a pen. This is gonna be packed with value, and these are the things that you need to do if you wanna take your video agency to the next level. It all starts with crafting a vision for your future. Before we can lead others, we must first lead ourselves. This starts and ends with making and keeping small promises to ourselves. Once you've got your mindset dialed up, the next thing that you'll want to focus on is sales. And as a full-time creative, you already have a flow of inbound opportunities. Next, your job is to make sure that you're capitalizing on every single opportunity that's presented and turning what would be a $1,000 to maybe a $5,000 job into a $25,000 or even a $75,000 partnership. And in order to sell something of that magnitude, we have to stop selling video and start selling results. No matter where you live, you can throw a rock and hit a videographer. But there's a big difference between videographers and video agency owners. And that is what and how they sell. Videographers and freelancers sell videos or video services. They focus on trying to get as much money per video or day rate as they can. Not only is this unscalable past a certain point, it's barely considered a business. So before you get upset, let me explain. If you're a videographer, DP, director, producer, whatever, and you put down your camera for a day and you stop working, what happens? If you answered nothing or I wouldn't make any more money, you don't have a business. You have what's called a high-paying job. No different than a surgeon who works in a hospital or a computer engineer. Now I get it. You've specialized, you've gotten really good at something, and that's awesome. But can you make a decent living and take care of your family doing this? Absolutely. I meet people all the time that do, but here's the catch. I've spoken with over 500 plus creatives on this topic over the last 2 years. That is not an exaggeration, it's a real number. And they all want the same thing. That's freedom. Freedom to travel, freedom to spend time with or build a family, freedom to invest, freedom to build generational wealth. But here's the reality. Until you start selling a result or an outcome as opposed to a video, you will stay here forever. Elon Musk famously said, you get paid in direct proportion to the difficulty of the problems that you solve. Solving the problem of just hitting record on the camera and having the actual gear to complete the project, or even just completing an edit, used to be a more difficult problem to solve. But now business owners have new problems that extend beyond just record me talking at my desk. So in order to scale a multi-6 or even 7-figure video agency, you must focus on selling the outcome, not just another video. Now let's talk about our next pillar, marketing. So let me ask, have you ever given a quote to a client and only to have them say, that's too much money, and ask you to lower your price just this once? Now, most people would say that that's a sales problem, and they would be wrong. This is actually a marketing problem, so let me explain. If you're solely relying on word of mouth and referrals in your video business, you haven't developed the skill of marketing and you're just, looking at maybe 1, maybe up to 4 inbound opportunities per month, meaning people hitting you up in your email or social media. Now let's say that you're great at sales and you're closing at 50%. If you get 4 opportunities that come in the door, 2 of which don't have the budget to afford your services or the timing isn't right for this kind of investment, then that leaves you with 2 potential opportunities that actually are a fit for you. And if you have a 50% close rate, maybe you'll close 1. Now, think about how radically different your pricing structure would be for this client if they were the only person that you talked to this month who could even afford your services. You, by all normal standards, would be foolish to let them slip through the cracks. This is the problem that I see in most video agencies. They get so busy on fulfillment and the craft that they forget to actually market their business and increase their number of potential opportunities and give themselves the level of choice as to who they want to work with. It's simple: more leads, more opportunities, less scarcity, and higher prices. Less leads, less opportunities, more scarcity, and lower prices. And the way to build a healthy, sustainable video agency is to engineer a consistent flow of demand. That's why marketing is such a critical thing to focus on as you're scaling your video agency. Now, once you've created a steady demand for your services, you're gonna have a new problem, and that's fulfilling all the work that you've sold with the level of excellence that you've promised your clients since day one. This is usually when most creatives implode. They have some moderate success in marketing, hit it big with a large-scale project or a high number of deliverables, and they hit a massive wall. This in the business world is known as operational drag, aka factors that can hinder productivity or slow down fulfillment and growth in the business. This feeling causes creatives to subconsciously limit their marketing and sales efforts because they're so inundated with long overdue edits and revisions that they actually are subconsciously not selling. And this is exactly why we need great systems and communication standards with our clients to keep the flow of work moving. For example, one way we would do this is by mapping out all of our deliverables in what's called a Gantt chart, making them all visible in one place in a project management system like ClickUp or Asana, so you can prioritize and execute on time every time. But what do you do when this is all just like too much? Even if you have, great systems, it's just too much work. This is where your team comes in. Here lies another core difference between freelancers and video agency owners. Agency owners know that if they're going to build something sustainable, scalable, and efficient that they can actually step away from without their income disappearing, they're going to need a great team. So who should you hire? When should you hire them? First, you're going to want to start with the thing that eats up the most amount of your time in the day. For almost every video agency owner that I've met, this is editing. For every 1 hour of raw footage that you capture, you can expect a minimum of 3 hours of editing to also fall on your plate. This means for every 8-hour shoot you complete in a week, that cascades into another 24 hours of required work. And that's exactly why we created what's called the bell curve editing system. This system allows you to delegate the boring work of cutting, syncing, aligning clips to a less experienced, less expensive editor or even an editing assistant. And the reason it's called a bell curve is because most people just push off an edit to an editor. They kind of just like hope for the best, right? But the greatest and most effective teams set crystal clear expectations, communicate daily, hit milestones to ensure the project is being completed the right way and on time. And that is what we did to not only scale our own successful video agency, but also help over 100 creatives do the same thing. You need all of these things together. It's going to be a combination of mindset, sales, marketing, operations, and team. So putting all of those things together, that's what allowed us to scale our agency to over $70,000 per month. And now it's what we use to actually implement into other people's businesses, over 100 video agency owners, to help them scale their business, buy back their time, spend it with the people they love, and build their dream life. You really have two choices right now. Either A, you can take this information and you can, go on your own and be like the 99% of other people who leave this video. Or if you want to be like the people that I told you about in the beginning of this video, then you need to be in group B, because success leaves clues. And here's what those people did. They're the people who overcame their fear. They invested into getting help in their video agency. And they said, dude, I want a community of people who are also running at the same pace, who share my values and actually want to build something big with God at the center. So if you want to be in group B, let me tell you about the Creative Academy. Inside of this program, you're going to get access to a community of like-minded creatives who want to build healthy, scalable video agencies. Step-by-step training, worksheets, templates, and standard operating procedures that we use to sell and fulfill over $3.5 million worth of creative projects and retainers. Me and my team are going to coach you and hold you accountable to your specific goals and hear about your specific scenario that you're working through so that we can break through any obstacles that you might be facing and achieve the level of financial freedom that you've been looking for since you started this business in the first place. So if you're ready to take action and join the rest of the elite performers that I talked about earlier, the people in Group B, what I want you to do is click the link below, book in a call with us, and we'll see you on the other side. My name's Landon Rhodes with The Wealthy Creative. Thank you for watching.